Greetings and welcome, fellow citizens. Now, yes, this is going to be another one of those sort of apologies. I apologise, haven't been doing the videos, but we've had something that's something that just kind of fell on me, and I had to go with it. I really had to go with it. Over the past couple of weeks, we had the Invictus Fleet Week for Star Citizen, and I managed to get over 16 hours of video footage, which you may have saw that I kind of poorly uploaded in a raw, unedited version on my channel not too long ago. Now, to understand exactly what Star Citizen is, it is a big project. It is a really big project that has been going on for some time. It's a game that is still in alpha, but yet people are buying up ships left, right and centre because we really want to get this game up and running. We really want to make something of it. Now, I'm trying to find the best way of how to understand what Star Citizen, the game, actually means for me, and why I myself have been personally invested in it for a long time. It kind of goes way back to like the 1980s. When I was a kid and I first just started to get into computer games, one of the first computer games that I got into was a game, I think it was called Galactic Trading. The whole simple process was you've got to deliver packages from point A to point B, but whilst you're trying to deliver these packages, all manner of things happen, like you get attacked by ships left, right and centre, the engines explode and all that, and you have to manage your crew to say, right, the engineer needs to repair this, that and the other, divert power to this, the weapons guy needs to like start shooting down all the people that are attacking them, and so on and so forth. And as these games, when I first like played that game, one thing that I really wanted to do was to be able to get up out of my seat and just have a wander around at the spaceship that I'm currently in. Maybe meet the crew, give direct orders to people to do certain things, and interact with consoles that do specific jobs. And as the gaming industry grew and grew, that has no less been affected. These are things that I really wanted to do with a game. I mean, we've got things like Elite Frontier that came out, Starflight, that was another one of my favourites from a kid, and you've got so many games, even No Man's Sky that came out quite recently. All you're doing is you're like sitting in a cockpit, or it's a top-down view of your spaceship, but you can't ever just get out and about. And I think the highlight of this at this Wish at a time was when EVE Online was live, and I was like playing around it, looking up the lore. So I was flying the Dominic's drone ship, and it says it's supposed to have like a crew of over 100,000, but I don't get to see any of that. All I just get to see is a seat in my cockpit, or if I manage to go to a space station, I can get out of the spaceship and I can just look at the spaceship from a distance. There is no interaction with any part of the ship apart from flying it. So I believe that there was this one guy who worked on a famous game previously called Wing Commander, who had pretty much the same vision. So when he left the company, he decided to fund or to start a Kickstarter called Star Citizen, and the idea of this game was to be able to imagine everything, not just like your ships or space stations or the universe, but the entire intricate details of each and every single possible ship that they've got going. So, I mean, you've got hundreds of ships that are currently either already developed or in development at the moment, each one with their own unique look, their own design choices, their own skills, their own play styles. Every one of these ships is unique in their own particular way. And you can just admire and explore them, from small one-man cockpit fighter ships to full-blown battleships that are the size of a city and require 80 people to pilot. These ships are beauty at its finest, in intricate details, from everything from the cockpit that you sit in to the cafeteria that the staff might get together to have some lunch, the engine rooms, the component holes in the walls that you can open up and replace components to repair. Everything is totally immersive. So you're currently playing the game not as like a pilot or top-down view or anything like that, but you are playing the game as a first-person perspective through the eyes of a person, as a citizen in space. So hence its name, Star Citizen. So you start by waking up in your bed at whatever airport or space station that you happen to be residing in. It doesn't matter because it can change constantly throughout the game. So you wake up, you wander around town, and the towns are actually really well done. They're putting so much design into every element and detail. From, as I said, the room that you're in, you've got so much stuff that's around you that's all just wasted junk. And this sort of way of using junk to express lived-inness came from the Blade Runner style of creating graphics. Because if you watch Blade Runner, almost any scene that you can point at, every single square pixel that will be on that screen would have something in that would have been of some irrelevance. I say irrelevance rather than relevance because it could be just a little bit of junk. It could be a pipe, or it could be a bear, or it could be anything. And that's kind of what goes in here. It's all crammed in to make it look like it is very well lived in, so high detailed. And as I said, the cities from Lorville, which is an industrial city, to Area 18, which is basically a Blade Runner ripoff, or New Babbage, which is a sci-fi future dream of what Paradise City would probably be like in the future. So everything inside Star Citizen is really well detailed, but that is kind of where it has its own separate problem, is because they're taking so long at the moment trying to create all the details for everything, including the past places where you probably may never even ever go. It's one of the reasons why this game is taking so long to develop. Anyway, that's not what I was here for. That would be for another video. I'm here to talk about the Invictus Fleet Week that they did. Now, in the game, they have got several types of manufacturers. Several types of manufacturers. Each type of manufacturer specializes in their own design, such as like the Origin manufacturer, which specializes in luxury type ships, those for the VIP and the guests and swim pools and spas in space. Whereas you've got MISC, which is more industry level, which creates the Prospector, which allows you to go for mining and such, or RSI, Robert Space Industry, which is another manufacturer which sort of like which is the leading industry in space technology that's got the colonists up to the stars. And I think we got Anvil Aeronautics, which basically is the military grade type ships They do like fighter crafts and dreadnoughts and such. So, what happened during the Invictus Fleet Week? Well, as the coronavirus or COVID-19 basically was spreading its ruin across the world and everyone staying indoors, the Citizen Con was cancelled and they couldn't actually have a convention where people can come to and get. So they decided to do the convention in game. And in this convention, they basically had all of the manufacturers showing off or showcasing what they had, some of their fleet ships, their signature ships, and allowing you, the player, to fly them, look around them, give them a try out and see what you think. So that's kind of what I did through the entire Fleet Week, is trying every single possible ship that they had, have a little look around. Some of the bigger ones I needed to take a bit of a tour on, and some of the smaller ones I just blew up for one reason or another. So yes, I mean, I'm just going to go quickly through what they had, and as you can see up here on the screen, I'll give you a little bit of a showcase of what they had. Okay, so on May the 22nd, May 23rd, we had Tamriel Rsi and Origin manufacturers. Tamriel was mostly the ground vehicles, which I didn't pay too much attention to, but the RSI and Origins really do have some pretty decent ships. The RSI had the Constellation class spaceships, such as the Constellation Andromeda, Aquila, and Phoenix. Now, the Phoenix model is their luxury model ship that basically holds like a full liquor bar, as well as like a little spa pool in the back so that some people can relax and relate. It's a touring ship, so that basically you can get your passengers on and basically just give a nice little tour of the ship. The Andromeda class is the gunship style. Basically, this ship is packed with high-powered lasers, type size 4 cannons, as well as quite a few missiles on board that can allow you to do some really serious damage. And finally, the Aquila, which they had on display, is mostly a scanning and exploration ship. So for those that want to go out into deep space and start doing exploration missions and exploring planets and such, this is the ship for you. Now, all the Constellation ships are multi-cruise ships. They can be, because they are small in size. I say small, they like tower over you. A lot of these ships are completely massive, but the Constellation ships are relatively small in size. They can be flied single player, but they are designed as a multi-crew ship, so that multiple different seats have different operations, such as you've got a top turret, a bottom turret, you've got a co-pilot seat, as well as in the back there is what's known as a leech fighter, which is basically a fighter that's stuck to the underside of the ship that someone can go in and then drop down, and they fly around and shoot down all the enemies for you. Okay, also on 22nd and 23rd we had the Aurora LN. Now, the Aurora LN is, I think, an Origin ship, or was it an RSI ship? Sorry, I can't remember which one was which. But the Aurora LN is like one of the starter ships. It is a small one-man ship that basically you can use to just fly around in. The LN, I believe, is the luxury model. Unfortunately, these ships are relatively quite small. There isn't really much in the way of luxury for a single ship, which can be either used as a fighter or a small cargo freighter, and anything in between. They're multi-role ships. Now, moving on to the 24th and 25th, we have Anvil Aerospace. As I said, these are more like the military fighters, the one that really wants to pack a punch and come out fighting. And what we had here, we had the Arrow, which was a personal favourite, the Pisces, the Carrack, the Gladiator, Hawk, Hornet, F7C, Hurricane, and Terrapin. Now, yeah, these were a lot of fighters that were going on during these times. So the Arrow, I would have said, is one of my favourite fighter crafts down there. It is fast, manoeuvrable, and packs a hell of a punch with its firepower that it's packing. Some other people might prefer other different styles, but as you can see up here, this is like a little bit of a short round of all the different classes that we got. Now, the big flagship of this was the Carrack, which is one of the more expensive ships that are currently out there and one of the bigger ships. When I tried to take this ship off, it took me about 5 minutes to actually find the enter here, well, I need to enter the ship, and another 15 minutes to actually locate the bridge, because this ship was actually quite big in comparison. It is mostly an exploration ship, but an exploration ship with a large cargo capacity, so that with the idea of what you find, you can bring back home. Okay, on May the 26th, we have the Aegis Dynamics, which is another military class manufacturer, but these more or less specifically focus on stealth and also other sort of support type roles, such as EMP style ships as well. So we have the Avenger Stalker. We had the Titan Renegade. I think the Titan Renegade was the EMP ship. Avenger Stalker, I believe, was a stealth ship. Warlock, Eclipse, Gladius Valiant. I almost said Voldemort there. The Gladius Voldemort. Avada Kedavra. That's it. But no, the Gladius Valiant. The Hammerheads, which is their class ship. Retaliator, Saber Comet, and all of the Vanguard ships. Now, again, there were a lot of ships here that you could fly and test pilot, but the real one here that everyone looks at is the Hammerhead, because again, the Hammerhead is another one of these the flagships of their corporations, flagships of this manufacturer. Now, the Hammerhead ship is really so big, and it's a type of ship that cannot be played or operated single player. Yes, you can get in it to fly it from point A to point B, and maybe transport some cargo if needed, but that's about it that you can do on your own. This thing has, let me just count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turrets that are all used by other players, as well as a co-pilot seat. I think it's got a drone bay in it, which is not currently in action. It's also got several other bays for multiple different things, not currently yet worked into the game, but as the game will progress, more and more options will become available for this ship. Now, the Hammerhead is, as I said, a corporate a multiplayer flagship that you take into combat, and it will annihilate any competition that you come up against, unless it's up against another Hammerhead. But yeah, you use this to take out small to medium type fighters, and also help busting mates out of jail as well, as we've done that a couple of times. On May the 28th and 29th, we had the Argo, MISC and CNOU manufacturers showcasing their wares. Now, the real leader here, I personally believe, is the MISC, because of their heavy industry style ships. And the ships they had coming up was the Argo MPUV, the Freelancer MISC, Mustang Delta, the Razor EX, Reliant Tana, the Starfarer Gemini. Now, the ship that I use in game at the moment is the Freelancer, which is sort of a multi-role ship, and they've got several different styles of Freelancers, one for what each type of area that you want, such as the Freelancer Max is a very heavy cargo hauler, whilst the Freelancer Miss, I believe, is military role and you can is used for more or less combat. And the Freelancer 2, I do believe, is for exploration and long distance. But yeah, don't quote me on that one. I'm a little bit not. But however, in this on these days, the big ship was the Starfarer Gemini. Now, I didn't really like the Starfarer Gemini because it was too industry level for my liking. In fact, half of the ship was actually based outside of the actual ship. But what the Starfarer Gemini actually is, it's a refueling ship. It's not actually workable as a refueler in game at the moment, but in the future, when it gets its gameplay mechanics, it will be able to help guide and refuel other spaceships that need aid and refueling. But one of the reasons that I didn't like of this was its internal structure was not very well thought out of. It was just made of catwalks, ramps, ladders, and as I said, I actually, to be perfectly honest, going outside the ship whilst in space and walking along the catwalk to inspect each individual tank, I didn't think was too bad actually. But when it comes down to my general aesthetics for spaceships generally have their walkable sides inside the spaceship. But no, I could see how it worked here. But as I said, the general internal structure of this ship was just ugly, and I really didn't like it, and I got lost too easily in that ship. In fact, when I initiated the self-destruct to get out of the ship, I had to basically run down one corridor, jump over a balcony because I had no way of remembering how to get down to the lower floor. So instead, I just jumped out over the balcony and out through the back passage. But yeah. Okay. Next up, May the 30th. To June the 1st. This was the last thing that was up and was done by a manufacturer called Drake Interplanetaries. Now, Drake Interplanetaries has got a bit of a reputation, for dealing with pirates and outlaws and people of unsociable society, as so to speak. They are known for their minimum luxury but maximum efficiency. You're not going to get anything like luxurious beds. In fact, you'll probably be lucky if you get a wooden mattress and a pillow for the beds on these spaceships. They are all about the maximum efficiency for what you can get. Maximum efficiency for as little effort as possible. And the ships they had here was the Buccaneer, the Caterpillar, the Cutlass Black, Cutlass Red, Dragonfly, and Herald. Okay, so the current flagship that's going on here at the moment, or the biggest ship, I would say, in my opinion, is the Caterpillar. Now, it was the biggest that was on display, and at the moment, the Caterpillar is mostly just a cargo hauler. It currently boasts the biggest cargo space available in any of the ships at the moment, and is currently a target for a lot of pirates because it is not very well defended. If you are flying a Caterpillar and you decide to be flying a Caterpillar whilst carrying lots and lots of cargo, make sure you bring an escort, because you won't be able to defend yourselves very well if someone comes knocking and say, I like those goods that you've got and I like my odds. But yeah, the Caterpillar on here is the biggest ship on the line, with basically the Cutlass black and red. There are several versions of the Cutlass out at the moment. The Cutlass is basically, the original Cutlass is a general multi-role ship that allows you to do pretty much anything, like from fighter, small cargo hauling, bit of sensors and long distance flight. But things like the Cutlass Blue, which came out not too long ago, is more or less a police ship, a pirate organisation designing a police ship. Yep, I'm wondering if that's going to be looked at in the future. But the Cutlass Blue has ways of incapacitating people and allowing them to be brought back to prison. Whilst the Cutlass Red is more of an ambulance service. So they have medical facilities on board which allow people to be respawned if they're logged in at those beds, or healed if they've got any sort of damage. Going throughout the Invictus Fleet Week, there was the Javelin, I do believe, or the Idris. I can't remember which one. I unfortunately didn't manage to get to see any of those, because by the time I ever flew to one of those sites, they had already gone. But I'm sure, as you can see, there are a lot of video footages of both of the Idris that's currently out there at the moment, because there was lots of people that was trying to blow them up. But yeah, the military top brass was flying around from station to station, and yeah, was having a pretty much damn good time. And yep, as I said, one of the reasons that I haven't been on much of late is because I managed to get over 16 hours of video footage during this week. And now I hear they're about to do Alien Week soon. So all the Alien developers and all the Alien manufacturers are going to be showcasing their wares and stuff. So I'm going to be looking forward to that and making videos for that as well. So, as promised, or I don't know if I put this in yet, but now I'm going to leave this off with a small little montage that I was creating of all the ships that are going to be blown up. I'm going to be putting this in a separate video as well, simply because I believe that there was like a little video challenge or tournament quest. Yeah, there was a little video challenge that came out not too long ago. So see who can bring in the best Fleet Week videos. And like I said, I managed to get every single spaceship, and I blew them all up, one after another. So then we have a look what you think. Until next time, thanks very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's see if we can get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. Again, thanks very much for watching. And I hope to see you guys out there.
Why, some say the moon. Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are willing to postpone, and one we intend to win. Several times more than has ever been experienced, fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch, carrying all the equipment needed for motion, guidance, control, communication, and survival on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then returning safely to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at speeds of over 25,000 miles per hour, causing heat about half that of the temperature of the sun, almost as hot as it is here today, and do all this, and do it right, and do it first, before this decade is out, then we must be bold.
Go where you want.